Boom. What's up, sons? It's Blind Run with Son of a Tech once again, and today I'm over on the Blind Run channel. This is my vlog channel, the secondary one that you guys can follow if you want to get, I guess, just extra additional content talking about whatever. Today, I wanted to talk specifically about the primary YouTube channel, some of the struggles that I'm personally having with it, and then kind of discuss with you guys as transparently as possible the thoughts that go through my head and how they kind of shift back and forth, right? So the problem on the channel right now is that we are losing subscribers. Now, a lot of the responses to this, right, as I posted it on Twitter, were essentially, you know, maybe they're just bots and this sort of thing. It's a bear market, you know, subs are going down for everybody. And part of that is true, but there is also other stuff going on. And I'm trying to not only be transparent with you guys so you guys can let me know what's wrong, but also try to get the ego out of the way so that I can figure out what changes I need to make and kind of go from there. This is a very vulnerable position to be in because I did decide to go to full-time YouTube and mining. And the mining's been rough as well. As you guys may or may not know, you know, mining profitability is down. And it's kind of gone back up, so it's recovered a little bit. But to compound upon that, electricity prices have gone up. And even though I had specifically, you know, a locked in electricity rate, they've added additional fees that have now taken my electricity rate up an additional 7.5 cents a kilowatt hour, at least for the summer months, which means instead of paying 6.5 cents a kilowatt hour at this point, we are paying 14 cents a kilowatt hour. And after all the other fees and stuff are added in, you know, we're about at 15 cents a kilowatt hour, which is making it very difficult to maintain profitability. So the farm is struggling along. We have some things, some changes, obviously some upgrades that we've done to counteract this, especially due to the heat as well, meaning the overall hash rate is down because cards can't hash as good as they normally do because we have had basically a month to 2 months now at this point where we are at over 105 degrees. Now, this all started with a tweet that I did back on August 4th, and I said, kind of just want to quit. So I did want to clarify this. It is not purely because of the subscriber count losses that I want to quit, right? I enjoy doing what I'm doing. So let me make that extremely clear. And I have quit before. So we're kind of going to cover all of this, right? So first of all, right, I don't want to quit. When I say I kind of just want to quit, it usually compounds into a couple different factors is the reason why. Primarily it's financial though, right? With the downturn in crypto and the mining farm not doing as well, and now of course the YouTube channel not doing as well, to the point where it's not really generating as much revenue as it used to. It puts me in a position where if I want to take care of my family, then I have to kind of change the way I think about it. But here's the problem that I ran into, and I'll kind of give you guys the lowdown. I've gone through this bull run bear market cycle before, and the previous time I was not built up big enough to basically weather the bear market storm at all. And so I paused, right? I quit making YouTube videos about crypto. I completely focused on my career. Now, what that did end up translating into was not necessarily what I would call a happy life. So I became extremely depressed. I worked a lot. You know, the type of work I did was in IT. I was a cloud solution specialist. I worked, you know, anywhere from 50 to 80 hours a week in basically an environment where it was pretty much cut and copy, do the same thing over and over again. I have to say that it's nothing against anybody I worked with. I think as far as that entire aspect goes, you know, there is just that style of work where you're going to sit and do PowerShell scripts 24/7, assist people with their email issues on the phone 24/7, whatever other general IT issues that you run into, go to the same type of project meetings. You get to catch a couple cool things here with product updates and so on, but for the most part, it's very draining, right? So I wasn't like in a position mentally where I was happy with it. Okay. That's the best way I can put it. I have struggled with depression in the past, anxiety surrounding work, right? Worried about, oh, if I don't get this done, I'm going to get fired. If I don't get this done, this is going to happen. And that does sort of translate over into anything you do, right? The mining farm causes the anxiety. If I don't make enough money there, can I handle paying for food over here? What are we going to do? And the thing is, though, is I know that the previous path I took, I wasn't happy with. I'm happy with the current path I'm taking, but I don't know how to resolve the issues to make sure that I can continue doing it. So it's a very odd position to be in. We're going to go through all these comments as well, but that is also why I did post this tweet last night that said, I'm not sure where to go from here. Now, can't really go on the internet and find like necessarily the exact answers that you're looking for all the time. And I will have to look in personally to figure out what this is, as well as speak with my family, my wife, and all that sort of stuff to figure out how that I decide to move forward. Now, let's get into the replies to the subscriber count. You can see here in the past 28 days, we've lost 467 subscribers. We've actually lost more than that. And then if we compare it to Social Blade, which I guess we'll do first. If I compare to like Red Panda Mining, who is another YouTuber, great guy. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel. And Voscoin, you can see that essentially here over, starting from October 2020 and then kind of coming up through here. My line would be the blue line, I believe, something like that. Yeah. And then the red line is Red Panda Mining, and then Voscoin's way up here. Voscoin didn't quit during the last bear market. Now, here's the thing. Red Panda Mining, I think, is very new to being a dad, so congratulations to him. Voscoin, I don't think, has that necessarily that issue. So one of the thoughts I've always had is like, essentially, if you don't have kids, it's a lot easier to take bigger risks, but I'm not so sure that you should set the example that if you have kids that you don't continue taking the risk. This is just, like I said, we're spitballing here, but we kind of took over and started building up a little bit bigger than Red Panda. So he's a good channel to pay attention to understand what you guys are looking for in content. But once we get to around October, which was when I was going through my separation, you can see a definite drop off, right? So I do know that I am both extremely transparent to where it's uncomfortable and kind of a divisive character as far as my opinions and all of that. So clearly being completely transparent about relationship issues and monetary issues, financial issues, all that sort of stuff will turn off a portion of the audience. But what I hope it also does is expose not only my own faults to where I can look at them more objectively, but also expose it to the public so that maybe it does help somebody out in the future. And that is kind of the goal here. And I want to make sure that I'm completely upfront and above board, which can be extremely difficult because it would be a lot easier for me to maybe even just kind of fake pretend like everything's okay to a certain extent, meaning like not talk about how bad the mining farm did for a couple months where we were losing money, or not talk about how I am terrible in relationships and need to work on myself to make sure that I do better for my family and my wife and my kids and working on that. Maybe I shouldn't expose any of that and just go on to Instagram and act like I'm like this perfect fucking person, which I'm not. I just can't live that way, right? So it didn't work for me from that perspective. But I also know that if you were going to be kind of in the limelight, you want to do that to a certain extent to protect your family too. So it's kind of a weird spot to be in. That's why, like, when I talk about the relationship issues and so on, I can say that, I've made these mistakes, A, B, C, or D, but I'm not going to put that speak for the other person. And that goes across friendships and any other lifestyle choices or whatever that I observe or am a part of, right? I think that's the best way to explain it. But you can see that that is when essentially Red Panda Mining was able, as far as from a subscriber count, to start exceeding essentially my channel. And I think that that is well deserved, by the way. I do not think that Red Panda, I should be performing on the same level as Red Panda. I want to make that clear. And you shouldn't compare yourself to others. But because the channel is so close, I can use this as information to start to target down where I made mistakes, right? The other thing that started in October, if we're being completely transparent and objective, was that in October, we started the Crypto Mining Show. And that is a live stream Monday through Friday at 9:45 a.m. Central Time. Now, the core audience loves that show. But if we look at the overall audience and the way they're responding to what Red Panda does, which is essentially daily vlogs, and what I do, which is a daily live show, it is clear that either a combination of the way that what the viewers want or the way the algorithm works is that it favors what Red Panda is doing over what I'm doing. So I can actually use that as a piece of data to kind of determine if I need to make transitional changes. Does that mean that the live show is going away? Not necessarily, because I think that for the most part, most of you enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section below. But that is what happened in October, and that is when this started happening, okay? So the next thing that we can take a look at, of course, is going to be not your estimated earnings. These are way off all the time, by the way, guys. Way off all the time. Don't pay attention to them. It's way over this most of the time, right? It's over this number here, which is the max daily earnings for cryptocurrency channels. For tech channels and tech videos, it's much lower. So if I have a video that's about Ethereum, it'll probably be above whatever this $56 is. If I have a video about the RTX 3090 Ti, it's going to be below. Now, the cryptocurrency channels are kind of weird in that fashion, right? So if it's a 3090 Ti on mining Ethereum, then it's going to throw it into the other CPM group. Either way, I can't even figure out exactly how the earnings work, so don't trust Social Blade on this whatsoever, right? So this isn't going to work as far as all of this is concerned. But what we can do is we can scroll down here and look at future projections. Because the question was, this is happening to everybody. This is a bear market, right? But that's not actually true. And I can prove that to you guys here right now. And that is with the future subscribers and what is happening. As you can see, the red line, which is Red Panda Mining, the future subscribers is going up. The future subscribers for my channel, because we have been losing subscribers, is going down. To the point to where in the next 6 months, we will actually go down to 172,000 from 178,000. And in the next 5 years, we would be down to 118,000 subscribers and so on. Now, there's a couple things happening here, right? We do know that whatever Vosk is doing is strangely, oddly keeping his subscriber count at exactly 605,000 subscribers. Something seems off there, but I'm not going to really get into that overall, other than I don't know exactly why that is. Bear market blues could be a part of it as well. Red Panda Mining, though, has an upward trajectory where he will go from 230,000 subscribers in 6 months and then 285,000 subscribers in 5 years. And this is where I can tell you that other channels in the crypto space are not losing subscribers. So I know that this is a fault of my own that I need to figure out and decide and determine what to do. Some ideas that I have, obviously, that I'm trying to determine outright is going to be adjusting the content for something that you guys actually prefer, which has actually been extremely difficult because when we removed clips, views and subscribers went down further. If I remove the live show, we will probably lose subscribers and viewers as well. So that is kind of hard as well too, because that is the dedicated audience. And that is where I sit as far as all of that. Now, another thing that we could take a look at, of course, is speaking about politics. And this is where I get into an ethical debacle. And that is going to be that clearly, if you talk about politics at all or anything relating to the way that people are voting in our various governments, whether that be in Canada, the United States, or Paraguay, that they will be contentious because it usually drives a wedge between party lines because it is clear which party is voting in favor and which party is voting not in favor of cryptocurrency. So if you point that out, then it just makes the side that has the party voting not in favor of cryptocurrency extremely angry with you, even though it is clearly true. And then that is a portion of this problem. The other problem with that is, to be frank, the right wing or the blue side or the red side, or however you want to state it, seems to be traditionally voting in favor of the more, how would I put it? The more free, more fundamental cryptocurrency policies, whereas blue is not. And the thing is as we know with big tech, and this is another observation that I make that could be a potential issue, is going to be that, frankly, on YouTube, they lean, as far as the algorithm goes, as far as who they decide to promote and so on, it leans towards one political party, which is not the current political party that is voting in favor of financial autonomy. And I have made this clear in plenty of videos, especially during the live stream, that have also started originating around the same time of October and then continuing through now. So there is that piece as well that is extremely confusing and part of the problem. So now that we've kind of analyzed all of that, let's go ahead and go through the comments so that you guys can really kind of get an idea of what other people are saying. And I'm going to react to them and then let you know how I feel, right? So Disco Crypto just said you should, and I did say LOL. He says he feels bad. He can't think of anyone who has worked their ass off in the industry more than you. Thank you, Disco Crypto. He says quitting to me sounds like the only way you'll figure out what it is you want to do, as opposed to what you opposed to doing what you need to do, right? So still watch the morning show every day. And I did reply, I do it because I enjoy it, because I genuinely do. Okay, I enjoy doing this. It wasn't initially for the money. If you guys are not aware, I've been on YouTube for 12 years trying to make it, and I barely made it for 1 year and then started failing already again. At least that's how I feel, right? So if we did move to a different direction in life, we would continue to do what we do here, because this is what I've done for 12 years while working long hours at other jobs, right? This is what I've always done. So it's fine as far as that perspective is. I do enjoy that, but I do continue on to say I'm conflicted because I have a family to take care of. And that is where kind of my personal problems come into it, where I'm not financially capable of maintaining the current level of cash flow, which is important, right, to essentially take care of my family, right? I have really high child support, to be completely frank with you guys, which I am struggling to maintain payment for. I have 2 kids, I have a wife, I have lots of stuff that I just can't pay for, but, you know, we will talk about that here in a second too. So he did say, and at the end of the day, this is your first and foremost responsibility, is providing for your family. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that providing financially for the family is in the best interest of the family, and we'll kind of talk about that. Okay. I said, I do not think quitting is the solution. I think persevering is the key. I am working on discussing this later in more depth, which is what I'm doing here, and we'll kind of get into that. So this is really what spurred this on. So, you know, we do have the traditional kind of responses like peaks and valleys doesn't make it feel any better, but it is what it is. You know, we talk about the cyclical nature of cryptocurrency. We can definitely see that if we looked at the trends, like right here for, of course, Google trends, and see that the trends of cryptocurrency as far as Google is going down, that's clearly going to impact, of course, not only the CPMs, but also the interest in the topic, which will impact, of course, my ability to generate revenue based on the topic, which is the topic of the YouTube channel, right? So, and then I say, it seems to be primarily this channel. I can't sort it out. And that's what we were talking about earlier when we're doing these comparisons, right? So that was kind of what I'm dealing with. Now, Sid Lowe says, stop whining. You told people to buy GPUs at the worst time possible. What were you expecting? Now, this is one that I actually kind of wanted to talk to you guys about too, because when we've talked about cryptocurrency mining in general, first of all, what I've said is you want to basically generate revenue, and you do that through mining. And so you purchase the GPUs. When we were getting to a position of, you know, getting into the spot of basically the crypto markets turning down, I don't recall telling anybody purchase GPUs, you're going to be perfectly fine. Now, if I did, it might have been either taken out of context or maybe misunderstood. But I still do hold to the fact, and this is where he does get me, that you should hodl silicon, not hodl cryptocurrency. And maybe that is what's misconstrued here. But at the end of the day, I did want to address that one. These are pretty common to get. You will get, obviously, these types of people that are going to get angry over certain things, maybe misunderstand things, or whatever it may be. Like, I think even... you know, I've been, you know, in private DMs and so on, people have talked about, well, you know, you said, you know, you were going through a separation because the YouTube channel wasn't performing well. And first of all, that's not true, because when I was going through the separation, the YouTube channel was performing very well. Not only that, so I never said that because I didn't have a reason to. Not only that, but when it's doing worse, the relationship's better. Okay. So, at least right now, like, as far as like the relationship's been better and the YouTube channel is performing like trash, which is frankly another whole other thing though, that we get off onto when we get into these tangents. Now, Oscar said you should do more of a vlog of your day-to-day, walking and cleaning devices, adding new rigs, logging in to check the devices, etc. Now, to a certain extent, we do this. I said if I had a cameraman, and that is because, frankly, it is very difficult to do vlogs, right? I do know that, like, Red Panda does this from his first-person point of view, and does it kind of in that genre. So, I guess to a certain extent, you can do that from the single-person like view, but the other thing is that we do those, right? And we do quite a few of them. In fact, like over the past month, we've had probably about 10 to 15 of those, and they don't perform that well. Okay. So I'm not sure. Look, I understand that everybody that replies is looking to help, and everybody also wants a little bit of something different. And I try to accommodate to that to the best of my ability, but I also try to look at it completely objectively. And that is that, frankly, if we look at the type of content that I do that performs well, it is going to be, well, apparently just talking about Ethereum. If I put Ethereum in the title, we're golden, but if I don't, we're screwed. But at the end of the day, it usually is like the how-tos, the helpful stuff like that, the evergreen content. So there you go. As far as that goes, Miss K said maybe take some time for yourself during the lull. So thanks, Miss K. We do have to generate revenue though, right? Mike Time with Mike just said, don't quit. People can be buttholes, but I don't think this has to do with people, right? So I get the sentiment there, Mike. I really, really do, but I don't think this has to do with other people. This has to do with me. Like, I have to take responsibility for where the position that I'm in. Is a lot more than recording a video unless they have done it. They're clueless. Now, that is true. There's a lot that goes into YouTube and being a creator, and it is very difficult. And then Raven says quality subscribers are there, and Rabid Mining agrees. Definitely check out Rabid Mining's YouTube channel. He has one. Now, Cedric does say mining interest is dead, so the trend is perfectly normal. So I do agree with that. He says also all the comments rules you create on your channel are limiting too severely interactions. We don't have comment rules on the channel. So the only ones we've added are emojis that the bots were using. So I don't know where that's coming from at all. But bear market things, please don't quit, repetition, got all that, right? So we're going to be doing all of that, right? So let's kind of get into this. The rest of it is pretty much the same stuff being repeated, right? You get, you know, the stop complaining stuff, that sort of stuff. People do seem to take any sort of vulnerability from a creator and just get really pissed off and rude and mean about it. It's okay. It just means that they don't necessarily want that side of it. But when we're talking about something that is tied to some sort of financial portion, and I'm failing on the financial portion, you guys should be aware of it, because this is frankly the entire point of the channel, which is creating financial autonomy. So it's going to have that integrated into it. So let's talk about this though. We failed previous bear market, and now we're at a position where we could move forward with this, you know, and continue and push through, or I could take a pause, take a day job and try to figure that out. The problem is it's not really going to necessarily solve it. First of all, the job market isn't actually as good as everybody says it is. The positions I would take would honestly still be difficult financially due to everything that's happening in the world as a whole. It's just hard when you have essentially prices going up and your income going down, right? If you were steady and you just had the same job and prices were going up, it's a little easier in prices or than income going down and prices going up. So that's where I'm at personally financially, is that income's going down and prices are going up. Now, also dealing in the crypto market means sponsorships are lower, affiliate link clicks are lower, and all of that. So all of that kind of goes down. But I did talk to my wife, and we did talk a little bit. And one of the things that I said was like, I'm not sure that going back and getting a job is a good idea. And it wasn't necessarily for the portion of this that is financial. It is specifically the portion of this that is mental health. And obviously you guys can see when I have mental health issues on the internet because it's all there for you to see. But if I go get a job, I know that I will be in the same position I was previously with my mental health, because I will not be happy with it. I will be working all the time and I'll be stressed out, and I won't be doing what I want to do. What I want to do is this. I want to create content. I want to help people, and I want to further along push essentially cryptocurrency in the proper direction from the public eye, and get the word out there to retail, as far as everything from not your keys, not your crypto, to not participating in CeFi, to watching out for YouTuber scams, to just learning more and more about blockchain. That's what I want to do. So what have I done now to make sure that I can continue to do that? Well, as opposed to, right, and my wife agreed. She said, I don't want you going back to work and just being miserable. I was never home. Right? It just wasn't ever home. I was always working, or if I was home, I was working on the YouTube channel trying to make sure that I could make it work. So I think at the end of the day, I do want to make this work. And I think that a portion of this is going through the struggle, and this is just paying the dues, right? This is going through and doing my best to figure out how to survive, and then letting you guys know how I survived, from the farm aspect to the content creation aspect and everything. So what I have done is signed up first of all for a whole bunch of blockchain certification type stuff, as well as just workshops and so on. So I'm going to be educating myself even more. That's kind of like number one, right? Is educate myself, take this time to educate myself even more on the subject. And that is kind of where I'm focusing in on, is that I'm here to learn more. The other things that we've done is obviously we set up locals. So thanks everybody that's been helping out over there at sonofatech.locals.com. And I am getting less and less scared of asking for help when I need help. So I need help financially to continue to do the channel. So I set up the locals and then I tried to provide value over there. I always feel like I need to provide as much value as possible if you're going to give me any sort of monetary support. So I have set that up in a manner to where you can basically give me financial support, but I can also pay you back with everything from helping out with nodes to exclusive giveaways, which is what we've added in. We've also started adding in giveaways, right? All this sort of stuff to make sure that it is also financially beneficial to you for financially supporting me. I've also started streaming over on twitch.tv/blindrun in the evenings. Thought being that if I can provide value with anything I'm doing or entertainment or be there for you whenever you need somebody to, talk to or ask questions for, I'm going to try to be there as much as I can. I worked a lot before. I can add in more work now. The other things we've done is add in one-on-one meetings. Now, this isn't just beneficial for you. One-on-one meetings also can be beneficial for me. Maybe there is like something you learned that I learned from you while we have those chats, that sort of thing. All of those can be found on sonofatech.locals.com. So where does it come down to? It comes down to being consistent in a time that is very difficult, right? So my number one goal is to remain being completely disciplined in maintaining the live show from 9:45 a.m. Central Time to 10:45 a.m. Central Time. And then second to that is increasing my education level to the point to where I have as much answers about anything cryptocurrency or blockchain related that I can possibly have, including the technical portion behind it from the hardware aspect. This is very difficult to do, but I have been doing my best to maintain that, and we'll be increasing and upping that level as much as possible. And then 3, it's going to be basically trying to reduce even further the amount of basically money or whatever I spend to the point to where, if it's not for my kids or my wife and it's just for me to enjoy and it's not going to have any sort of benefit for the channel, it goes out the door because I can't afford it and it's not going to be something that we can do. So that's everything from, we've had Netflix canceled, canceling pretty much like for a while. I had some people mowing lawn because I could focus more on working here while they mowed the lawn, taking those responsibilities back over, learning to use different editing software that doesn't require me to pay Adobe for it. Yes, that's more work on my end, but I just don't have the cash flow to pay for it, right? And then just getting to the position finally to be able to do all this, I personally have to be more stoic, meaning I need to live day to day in my life in the moment and not let the worry or the fear of what may happen financially to me interfere with the exact task that is in front of me for the day. So that is where I'm at. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to upload it unedited and raw. So give me a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below so you're notified when we post more content like this, more behind the scenes stuff. And I hope to see you next Tuesday.